The Maine People Podcast, available everywhere. Click subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm John Shannon. Welcome to the Maine People Podcast. Toby McAllister, my guest this time around. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about some really weird Maine stories. Toby, welcome to the podcast. Thanks so much.
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
So you've had a really successful music, I don't want to say long-term career because I hope your career goes a lot longer because the music is great. But I also want to talk about your side obsession with strange stories from the state of Maine. We'll talk about that a bit.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember you had just recently completed your new EP when you first reached out to me, and you were like, "Hey, John, some people said that you should listen. I should contact you and listen to this as a music director at WPOR, which is Maine's biggest country station." So that was a pretty smart move on your part. Turned out I was already a member of the Facebook group Unexplained Maine. I found out months later that you were the moderator, originator, creator of that group even.
Yep. That's funny.
So before we
talk
about
credit
the music,
my friend Ben.
Okay.
My friend Ben told me I had to get in touch with you and send you the music, so I got to give him credit for that.
Well, Ben's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Unexplained Maine Facebook group before we delve into the music. Is that okay?
Sure.
Because look, I love your music, but I also love weird stuff in the state of Maine.
Yeah.
What's and let's take a look at your Facebook cover photo of that too, because I want people to know they found it and found the right thing. If they go to Facebook and want to join this group, isn't it crazy how much this has grown in the last year?
Yeah, it's insane. I remember I made this graphic on my couch one morning last February in 2021. I just told my wife, I'm like, I just want there to be like a place on Facebook that I can read about people's weird experiences in the state of Maine. And like, I just hadn't come across a group like that yet. So I put it up, and in the first week we got like 60 requests. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then like, wow, it really snowballed and got kind of crazy after that. Now I think we're almost at 30,000 members now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow.
It is
my
crazy.
Whole radio station, our whole radio station has a little bit more than that, but not much. So that's big growth. So it's like everything. Bigfoot sightings, UFOs, ghost stories, general weirdness, maybe prompted by this meeting of you and Bigfoot. I saw this picture on the Unexplained Maine photo page.
Yeah, I've met him a couple times.
Mm-hmm. If we take a look at the picture of you and Bigfoot, I think it's not real Bigfoot, but or maybe we don't have it.
Was.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, there he is.
Can you please tell me where this is?
Yeah, wow. What town I was coming back from Sunday River with my wife, and she's like, on my way up here, I saw a Bigfoot in someone's yard. I'm like, well, we gotta go. We're gonna see if it's still there. And I think it was in like Norway, and this guy has all these like animals in his lawn, and right in the front's the Bigfoot. And he came out because we pulled over. He's like, you can take pictures with him. I'm like, oh, thank God. Yep, please.
This is just a guy's front yard?
Yeah, it's decorated with all these like massive, animals and creatures. But this guy's front and center. He's the main attraction.
I think I want to see this yard at Christmas time. I wonder if there's like a Santa suit and stuff that goes on.
I hope so. That would be nice.
I want to get some of your favorite stories from the Unexplained Maine Facebook page coming up, but I want to talk about your new EP. Face the Days was your first single off of here. It gets played a lot on radio207.com. It's one of the most played songs on the radio station, which is 100% local Maine music. So thanks for being a part of that, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Unbelievable. This is a behind the scenes clip from the making of the Face the Days. We'll take a look. Tell me what's going on as we watch this. There's a Bigfoot in this. There's some UFOs. There are aliens. And there's this guy.
Yeah. So, my buddy Graham shot this behind the scenes video. He also was the bass player in the music video. We had this idea, me and my buddy Jake, who played guitar in the video and on the EP, like, what if we had an alien and a Bigfoot that maybe started off as enemies and then like became friends and put aside all their differences. And what a good message that is. Like if someone from outer space and a Bigfoot living in the woods can come together and agree, like maybe other people can too, you know?
We'll take a
So
look
that
at
was
the
our
whole music.
idealistic. Yeah.
We'll take a look at the whole music video coming up at the end of our third segment. Where does a person go to get a great Bigfoot costume like you have in that video, by the way? And can I borrow it later?
You can definitely borrow it. It might be, I mean, I don't think it's sweaty anymore, but
okay. Reconsider.
It took a while to find the right one, because you know, like one of the most popular Bigfoot costumes is like the beef jerky Bigfoot costume. I think it's beef jerky, right?
Yeah.
But no, I went to every Halloween store, because we shot this around Halloween. I went to every Halloween store in the state of Maine. No one had a Bigfoot outfit, and I think honestly, I just resorted to like ordering it on Amazon and crossing my fingers, and it showed up and was awesome. So.
Yeah. What kind of reactions have you gotten from the music video?
It's been pretty positive. I think, you know, it's almost at 10,000 views on Facebook, which is kind of wild. Seemed to get a lot of traffic. We were trying to make it like something different, you know? We wanted to.
You did.
And it's very on brand for the weird stuff that I like. It's just, it felt like the right thing to do. And the guys in Scotia, Eli and Jed, who filmed it, directed it, and, you know, they did all the graphics of like the UFO and stuff. I mean, they were sending me clips as they were working on the video. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, this is my dream come true. Just like, we're bringing it to life. My wife was actually the alien in the video as well. So that was fun.
We'll show the whole thing coming up in a little bit. She did do a great job. Very convincing. Very convincing.
Yeah.
And speaking of the weird and bizarre stuff that you said, you know, all coming together, we'll talk about more of that and some of your favorite stories maybe coming up in the next segment.
Yeah.
Your next online event can be perfect thanks to virtualproductionsgroup.com. The Maine People podcast couldn't happen without them, and they can make your remote streaming event absolutely technically perfect. High quality live and pre-recorded productions for corporate events, weddings, tournaments, charities, and more with virtualproductionsgroup.com. Radio207.com only plays original country music from Maine singers, songwriters, and bands. Streaming online and on your smart speaker. Radio207.com is on the air now. Radio207.com. Only Maine, only country music.
The way my dad brought me up was always to work hard and to treat people well.
You ready to go for a ride?
We try to keep our goal to make people feel comfortable buying their cars and feel comfortable with the people they're working with.
Nice. Oh, it looks good over here.
So become part of our family. We really mean that. Without question, we're in this together.
We're going to take care of you and treat you like your family anyways.
This looks awesome.
Yankee Ford has so many people willing to help and make this tough time a little bit easier.
Maine People podcast talking with Toby McAllister about, well, one, about your great music and your new EP and all the gigs that people will be able to see you this summer. I'm sure you don't have everything lined up, but give people an idea where they should be looking to see Toby and the band playing.
Yeah, so thanks. As far as original stuff going, coming right up, got a couple shows in April at Aura and Wally's in New Hampshire, and then we're also doing stuff in New Hampshire at the end of May. And as far as like solo duo stuff, I'm pretty much going to be living in Old Orchard Beach and Agunquit and those places like I am every summer. So if you're wandering around Old Orchard on a random day of the week, it's more than likely I'll be down there playing.
There's really not anything to complain about spending all your days in a beach town in Maine in the summertime though, right?
No, it's not bad. It's really not.
I mean, think about how much Canadians pay for that. Canadians pay a lot for that.
They do, and I still pay a lot for parking, but it's fun.
I want to go over some of your favorite things from your Facebook group, Unexplained Maine. You sent a couple photos of things that are stories that you wanted to share, and I just want to start. Let's start off with the werewolf, because someone thinks maybe they spotted a werewolf in Litchfield. I know there was maybe some audio that went with it on the Facebook page, but
yeah. So the werewolf shot is right there.
Yeah, this one right here.
It's a Snapchat video. And this was one of the first things that like popped up in the group. I think it was like the second week or something. But I just remember it was like really cool. It looked like it was unexplainable, if you will.
Uh-huh. You
It
can see the little
it looked
figure
like yeah.
right there at the tree line.
Yeah, and if you search if you search werewolf in the group, this video will pop up and you can go watch it. It's very brief. It's like your classic, I caught something like really quickly on my phone. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's not. I have a big imagination, and I like to believe that maybe there's some stuff out there that we just don't quite understand. And I loved this video, and I tried to grab a screenshot of it as best as I could. You can make out that it's definitely an upright walking body of some sort.
You're going to put a moratorium on photos of what people are calling orbs on the Facebook group that really are just lens flares and stuff, because that seems to be the most of what people post.
I know, man. I had no idea that moderating and being the admin of one of these groups was going to be like so much work. Like I'm sometimes I get in bed, I'm like, okay, I got to like work on the Unexplained page for like 45 minutes now, because I'm deleting a lot of posts on there. Anyone who's like mean or rude, I just get rid of them. There's no need for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta feel like kind of a safe place to share your weird stuff, you know? But when it comes to the lens flares, me and a couple of the moderators have been like, we're going to remove those. We thought about making a thread dedicated, like, hey, if you have an orb or something you think you caught that is most likely a lens flare, here, post it here. Because it's out of control, man.
A Maine orbs Facebook page all by itself.
I know, and people get mad at me like, why'd you remove my photo? I'm like, you should start a Maine orbs page, and everyone can post the orbs.
Right. I love the Bigfoot post.
I'm a fan of that.
One of the most recent ones, and it was from a YouTube video, and this screenshot, you can clearly see the Bigfoot in the woods, the Sasquatch.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, right? Like, so there's a lot of debate about this video. Everyone has an explanation, of course. It's a guy. Some people are even saying I can see his like white sneakers when he's running. To me, I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's either someone catching a Sasquatch on camera, or it's someone wearing a suit. It's one of those two things.
I'm going with A.
So, yeah.
Because B is no fun.
B is no fun. And we like to have fun, all right?
Speaking of Sasquatch, Toby, can we get a closer look at your sweatshirt, please?
Oh, yeah.
I'm wearing my
move it in
closer?
shirt today. Yeah, let's see here. There he is. He's chilling. I got this. I got a couple friends here on my desk, too. He's got this. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is your classic. Yeah. So I got my alien over here, too. I'm not obsessed or anything. It's fine. There's no obsession here.
It's why we're here today.
Yeah. Well, apparently I'm not alone in the state of Maine, because everyone else seems to have something that they'd like to chime in with on the page, which has been really cool.
I want to take a look at the band photo, because it shows your obsession and how it combines with your other obsession that you posted in your Unexplained Maine page with your whole band set up here.
I know, and I try not to like post any like of what I do in the group, but I thought this may have been worthy of a share. This was at the Sparks reunion shows we did at Aura, and I was trying to figure out how to make my setup a little more fun. So again, I found a Bigfoot flag, and that's the alien mask that my wife wore in the video.
Nice.
I think I just put it on one of those things they have for wigs, you know?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah. One of the styrofoam heads. Is that the Bigfoot flag that is also behind you right now? Same flag?
Yes, it now lives behind my guitars in my house. The alien head's back there too. I don't know if you can see it.
It's like my house, except my wife would make me clean that all up and put it in the basement.
Yeah, that's why it's in this room.
Have you ever been on like a ghost hunt? There's a lot of ghost stories on the Unexplained Maine page, but you ever actually been on a ghost hunt? I know there are some ghost hunters that post on there.
Yeah, there are quite a few. There's actually a few ghost hunters in Maine with like groups. I personally have never been on one. I'd like to go on one. I think it'd be fun. I think the idea of I mean even just creeping around a scary abandoned building at night sounds kind of fun, whether there's a
Yeah.
ghost or not. Um, but I haven't, and I'm hoping I can. We did also like this. We hosted a camping trip last September within the Unexplained Maine group, and my buddy Tom Tash owns pocket parks up in Acadia. And so we went up there, and it was very small. I think it was like 10 or 12 of us. And, we went on like a walk through the woods at night one night with, infrared and lights. And
Right.
one of the other nights we did like a CE5 meditation underneath the stars up in Acadia. We drove up into the park. There was no one there. And we just like all laid down in the parking lot. And you could the sky, like it gave you anxiety almost. It was just so many stars you could see. It was really cool.
Because there's no other lights. But you're going to have to explain
Yeah.
CE5 to me.
So it's this idea that you can get a group together and meditate at the same time and actually, conjure up UFO sighting or a being sighting. Yeah, it's kind of far out. So
It is, but it's fun.
it was fun. We didn't see anything, but I mean, there's a documentary on Amazon called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, I believe it's called. And it's all about CE5 meditation. And, the evidence that they show is kind of compelling. It looks like it's possible, but we weren't able
I'm
to.
writing that down right now. I'm writing that down.
Oh, yeah. It's a fun
I'll be
watch.
checking that out.
And while
Next
we're
segment
on
is
that,
yes.
before we move on, you got to watch the Missing 411, The Hunted on Amazon as well, if you haven't. That's more in like less alien. That's more like Sasquatch related. Both are very
Excellent. All right. I wrote that one down too. I got plenty of watching for the weekend. Next segment, 100% all about the music. We're not going to talk about Unexplained Maine, except by accident.
Okay.
It's all about the music, your new EP, and your original stuff coming up. All right.
Cool.
Your next online event can be perfect thanks to virtualproductionsgroup.com. The Maine People podcast couldn't happen without them, and they can make your remote streaming event absolutely technically perfect. High quality live and pre-recorded productions for corporate events, weddings, tournaments, charities, and more with virtualproductionsgroup.com. Radio207.com only plays original country music from Maine singers, songwriters, and bands. Streaming online and on your smart speaker. Radio207.com is on the air now. Radio207.com. Only Maine, only country music.
The way my dad brought me up was always to work hard and to treat people well.
You ready to go for a ride?
We try to keep our goal to make people feel comfortable buying their cars and feel comfortable with the people they're working with.
Nice. Oh, it looks good over here.
So become part of our family. We really mean that. Without question, we're in this together.
We're going to take care of you and treat you like your family anyways.
This looks awesome.
Yankee Ford has so many people willing to help and make this tough time a little bit easier.
Here's the cover art for Daydreamin', your new EP. 5 songs on here, if I remember correctly, Toby.
Yes. Yep.
I think in one point that I want to start off mentioning, you reconnected, I think, the old music that you made with Sparks the Rescue when you were on tour with one of my favorite songs on the EP called Coast to Coast, all about being on the road with your band and missing someone at home, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's what I
exactly
got out of
about.
the song.
Yeah, you nailed it.
So
it was cool to write that one. It felt very nostalgic when I was working on the lyrics for it. And even Nate played drums on the EP, who also was the drummer in Sparks, one of my lifelong buddies. So it was cool. It felt almost like, I grew up on that pop punk stuff that Sparks did, and then now I am really just into country music and bluegrass, and I think I was just trying to how can I make these two meet in the middle, and I think that's what happened with the EP.
How did that change happen for you?
That's a great question, because I never used to like country music when I was younger. I was into I went through weird phases of punk rock music, and then hardcore music, and then eventually kind of settled into the emo music. And I think there's a lot of parallels that I found between kind of the outlaw country bands that I really like and punk rock music. I think they're so very similar that people don't realize it. they write about the same stuff. Like the beats are similar. And I think it was a very easy transition the older I got, starting getting turned on to like, it probably started with getting heavy into Johnny Cash and then finding like the newer country artists that are coming out today. And now I just drive around and listen to like banjo bluegrass music. So
it's okay to be an Eric Church fan and a Ramones fan at the same time.
That's right. Of course.
It's all right. You were on the road through your 20s, touring a lot. You're married now. You got a young daughter. Yeah. Can you see yourself, if the opportunity came up, going back on the road like you were before? You think it would be very different now?
Yeah, man, that would have to be a pretty sweet deal. Well, I wouldn't trade it for anything. All the years we spent living in a van, it was, we all enrolled in college and spent the first semester like partying and writing music. And then we're like, I just remember coming to my parents and be like, this isn't for me. Like we were getting signed to a record label. And like, we just want to go on tour. And they were so supportive. Like, you know what, if that's what you want to do with your life, you should do that. And, it was great. It had its ups and downs and it was fun most of the time. And sometimes it was awful. But what an experience, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
What was it like having that record deal that was different than what your expectations were, getting, signed to a label?
Yeah, I mean, we went through quite a bit. Yeah, we were on a couple different record labels, and this is another subject I could probably talk about for a long time. But we had like this really fun week in New York City. The label we were currently on was really small, called Double Blind Records, and once we recorded our full-length record, Eyes to the Sun, they started shopping it around, and there was some interest, and like we just like went to New York and got wined and dined for like a week, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Some labels are just like, I remember Island was like, order the most expensive drinks and food you want. Like, we're not going to sign you. We just had to be part of like the dinner. You had to take you out. Like, wow. Okay. But it was fun. And we ended up landing on Fearless Records out of California, which, they were really awesome to us. And until, the band eventually kind of stopped.
Mm-hmm. But touring all over the world, you and your friends, your college friends, I mean, lifelong stories, I would imagine. And probably some really rough mornings. Really rough mornings. Yeah. We did like a European tour with the All American Rejects and, flew overnight to Germany to start. Whatever the time change was, we got there and it was like 9 a.m. None of us had slept and we had to go right to the venue to load in for sound check and then like hang around till the show. And like then of course we went out drinking that night. Like Europe was a blur, but it was fun. At least the parts of it that you remember, right?
Yeah, we took some pictures and there's a couple of videos, so I can remember.
So between that time in Europe all the way to now, like where's your favorite city to play in? Is it a hometown or was it somewhere else in the world?
I don't know. It's hard to beat Portland. Portland's always my number one, I think. But I mean, we played so many cool places, like we did that on that European run. We did a show with the Rejects in London at the Roundhouse for like 3,500 people. And at the time, I mean, that was the most people we ever played for. It was unbelievable. Yeah. We got to do like Warped Tour. That was a dream come true because I grew up going to Warped Tour when I was a kid. We got to play South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. Like really love that city. The Troubadour in Los Angeles, got to play there a few times. It's like, all these places you grew up reading about and like seeing your favorite bands like start at these places. And then like your band all of a sudden is like setting up and playing there too. It was just a wild ride.
I mean, those are legendary places.
Yeah. I mean, we played like the, what's the place where River Phoenix died too? The Viper Room. We played there once. Right. And like, that was just, just like cool history. And it's not cool that he died there, but like history.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It was just, it was a cool to be like in these places where all these like, things had happened. It was something else.
Let's look at the poster you've got coming up for your next show with Billy Bob Thornton, because this is going to be pretty cool. You got 2 shows coming up. What are you going to say to Billy Bob? Speaking of legendary.
I know. I don't know what to say. There's so many things, but I'm going to try to just play it cool and I'll let him steer the conversation because I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about Bad Santa or anything like that.
But
Maybe he would.
talk about it. I mean, you never know.
But also, can we talk about it?
He may also be the guy that goes like, okay. And that's the
Yeah.
extent of the conversation.
That could be. You know, we did a tour with Frankie Muniz's band once, and that was something.
Really?
Yeah. He played drums in a band called Kingsfoil, and he was such a sweet dude, and their band was awesome. But like they were opening for us for like the whole month, and so you know I had to get everyone paid at the end of the night, so I'd have to go give Frankie Muniz his $100, and like it was just funny.
Like Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I had the right guy. Like I didn't even know he played music. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was cool.
You've got obviously a nice setup there in the house, Christmas lights and everything. You get surrounded by your Bigfoot paraphernalia, plenty of guitars.
Yeah.
Is this where you recorded your EP, or did you go to a studio?
Yes, this is where I wrote everything, demoed everything, and then I went actually in and recorded it with John Wyman, who's been recording the Spark stuff since the beginning. You know, I almost every record I've ever done has been with him. He's like one of my best buds, and I'm comfortable working with him, and I think that can be a little hard to find sometimes. And so he was my go-to for sure.
For a lot of artists, recording changed during the pandemic. Of everything was done at home, and people just recorded songs at home. Whole albums have been recorded in people's houses now.
Yeah, it kicked me in the butt to get this set up, because like I was doing a lot of live streaming, and I think that's how, once I got my mixer and my microphone and everything, like I have a MIDI keyboard, and like once it all came together, I'm like, I think I need to start writing again, and I think I need to start demoing. And at the time, my daughter could just like nap in the swing next to me, so I would just like sit here and write and record demos, and it was really good for my mental health, especially at the time, because it was such there's some dark days there, you know. I couldn't leave the house. It felt cooped up.
Right. And there's a song like that on your EP too.
There is. Yep.
So we're going to actually close in a second with another clip of the video of Face the Days. One last song. If you had to choose, if you're going to be stranded on a desert island, one album that you can listen to for all time until your rescue, what is that album going to be? Not yours, not your own.
No. Oh God, I would never do that to myself. If I had to pick one album to bring to a deserted island, I would bring Too Far to Care by the Old 97s. That's one of my favorite records of all time.
All right. There's an album for everyone to check out and find out why.
Yeah, it's great.
It's been great talk. It has been, Toby, it's been great talking to you. I really appreciate the time. We're going to close out with another clip from the Face the Days music video, and hopefully people go pick up the EP, support local music and the artists that you love to see, and we'll be watching you for some shows this summer.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm very grateful for everything you're doing for the local music scene right now, the radio station and this podcast. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks.
I see the storm that's rolling in. I'm losing track of when days end or they begin. Too busy watching the snow fall. Turn off my cell phone since nobody's gonna call. Feeling the four walls closing in, there's no escape. So I lie awake and drive myself insane. It's gotta be okay. I don't know why we try to solve the mystery why we'll all be gone someday. We'll all be gone someday. I'm hanging by a broken thread, but I'm here to help you face the days you sometimes dread. We may not make it out alive, but I'll live to see the other side of 35. Sometimes we all just need a push over the cliff. It's the
From the real-life problems that Maine police face every day to celebrity encounters and almost shooting a rubber sex doll hiding in a closet, Police Detective Matt Yetton on the next Maine People podcast.